Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. JC here with another video on Action Taimanin. Today we're gonna check Hebiko's limited weapon and supporter character, the character pack, So before we start, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and share if you enjoy the content. Also, comment on what other things you want to see next on the channel. So, very quickly, we're gonna see here on Arena Tower, yes, Hebiko. So, Hebiko, weapon, first we're gonna go for the weapon to analyze what this does. It says, Kakuryo is going to make Octopus Windmill so that it can be used while moving. Octopus Windmill is the all blue skill, and this one is meant to be static. As you can see, it's an attack with the legs. It turns into some kind of tentacles, and you hit like a windmill. And that's pretty good because in a way you increase your range. Let's say that you use it on a place where you're not hitting everyone, so you just move a little bit and you're gonna hit everyone now. So it is good that you get the mobility on blue. Then it has another effect. It says increases speed by 20% and reduces damage taken by 30%. Increases damage by 20% for 6 seconds when being healed. Okay? Every 4 seconds. So it is a pretty good effect, but you need to be healed. And that's a problem. Let me explain. We have a buff called Devil Ink. Devil Ink is going to give you mini buffs, just like Fury from Spinel. And one of those buffs is going to be healing. So you want to get any kind of Devil Ink. How do you get Devil Ink? By using the blue build. You can also get it by using any color with Octopus Field. But you only get only that source of Devil Link, and it doesn't last long, as you can see. So what can you do? Something that you're gonna notice here is that the supporter and the weapon do not synergize. This is green and the weapon is for blue, so that's a problem. Does that mean I cannot use them together? Yes, you can, but you want to use them on BR. Okay, to take full advantage of this, because on BR you're gonna be able to get other sources of HP recovery to proc the weapon, and you can take advantage of the effect of the supporter with other characters. Let's analyze the supporter super quickly. New Year Hebiko says increases damage by 24% and reduces damage taken by 24% at 10 seconds intervals. This means that you're gonna have a perma buff. This perma buff is going to give you attack up or damage reduction. Okay? It is good for characters who like to receive hits. Which character likes to receive hits? Not only tanky characters, but also characters which can restore the HP. Rin, Kurenai, Felicia. Those characters like to receive the hits, so they can take advantage of both effects. For your main attacker, this is not super good because you don't want the damage reduction. You want only attack buffs. So keep that in mind. Let's see. Other than that, it has another effect that says has a 50% chance to inflict poison of 100% of damage for 12.5 seconds when attacking an enemy with a debuff. So, what's the problem with this? Hebiko has only 2 skills which inflict debuffs. Octopus Choke, which is going to ensnare the enemy. It doesn't say that it ensnares the enemy, it says Constrict, but as you can see, it activates a debuff. And you have Octopus Field. Octopus Field, if I'm not mistaken, it slows the enemy. So those are 2 ways to inflict debuffs. if you use Hebiko. If you go on VR, you can go for full damage with Hebiko, ignoring these two, and rely on someone else to inflict the debuff. Bleed? No, it's poison. Poison isn't like a super popular debuff. Then why do you want it? To have a debuff on the enemy. It's an activation condition. Thanks to Hebiko, now Minasaki is viable. It is super, super viable. Minasaki had a good number, a good multiplier, damage multiplier, but she wasn't usable for the most part because poison is not like something many people put, and the debuff would wear off after some time. Yeah, it lasts like 12 seconds. Yeah, you get that, but you have to wait a while before you could activate it again. So now Minasaki is going to permanently give a damage increase to whoever she has equipped, as long as you keep attacking with the character who has Hebiko. Another thing that you can do, you can use Susune, and you can use Holy Knight Kirara with this to increase your damage. Hebiko is good for people who like to go with mixed builds, especially a combination of green and 2 red. Let's see. What else? Hebiko. She has an extra passive. It says, drops a dagger on a random enemy every 15 seconds and summons an ink orchid that deals 180% damage of continuous damage for 5 seconds. This sounds like a debuff, but it's actually not a debuff. It literally a branch sprouts out of nowhere, and it starts to deal consistent damage. The branch can inflict the bleed. It is another kind of hit, but the enemy has to be debuffed. So yeah, it would have been better if it was some kind of debuff. I mean, even the if this gave like the seed bomb effect, it would have been better because it would auto proc the poison. So it is a shame. They just missed the mark by a little. It was about to be self-sufficient, this supporter, but it is not self-sufficient. And the active says, deploy an ink dragon in front that deals 1080% of damage. It is a big number, you know? I do like that, but it doesn't have any other effects because they don't wanted this supporter to be self-sufficient, which is a shame. So, you would think that poison is pretty bad, but in my opinion, poison is just an enabler. It's not that you want it because of the consistent damage that it's going to deal to the enemy. It's just that it's a debuff and it's an activation condition for other supporters. So, very quickly, we're gonna start with the blue build. As you can see, my weapon is plus 14, and I have Anti-Demon Magatamas. This is not enchanted. It's only 5 out of 5. I actually have to work on that. And I'm going to use Octopus Field to inflict to get Devil Link, Octopus Saber to get Devil Link, and Octopus Windmill to take advantage of the extra effect on the weapon. Now, to guarantee that I consistently heal, I'm going to use Akina, and I'm going to use New Year Felicia. New Year Felicia is pretty good on Hebiko because Hebiko is an assist type character, and she gives skill damage and extra damage to assist type characters. She also reduces the damage taken every 15 seconds for 5 seconds when you heal yourself, and she has an active that heals you and increases the damage you deal. So it is, I know this supporter is kind of weird. It is pretty good if whenever this supporter fits all the conditions, like it's assist and it heals, it's like super good. But if you're not an assist type character or you don't need the healing, it is not that impressive. It's kind of weird. It's like a hit or miss. And then we have Kana. I don't have a better supporter. The ideal option would be to use Onigumo or Arabella. Arabella not here because we're facing a stage with multiple enemies, and some of them are mobs. So this is fine because you're gonna get consistent buffs thanks to Devil Link. So let's test her out. I already recorded these once and I was at level 50 without awakening. I have already awakened. And it shred the stage, just so that you know. And my weapon at that time of recording was +8, not +14. So I unfortunately have to discard that because I omitted a very important piece of information. So yeah, I think she's ready. Yeah, let's test her very quickly. And you're gonna see that she is amazing. I'm not going to do the typical analysis on each skill because this is not meant to be an analysis of the character. In fact, at least I have to be level 81 so that I have all the skills and I can do a proper analysis with practical applications and an example. And there we go. Look at that damage. Beautiful, isn't it? The amount of hits and the speed that I get. I already like the basic attack on Hebiko. Both basic attacks are good. I prefer the normal one, the one which is not enhanced. And I used to play her with the butterfly weapon. That's why I really like her. Because she would be super fast. And now she can do the same without having the butterfly weapon. Just evade. And now that I have the damage buff, and I just finished. Super fast. Unfortunately, the stealth wears off when you attack. The stealth buff is very good, but it wears off the moment you do an attack. So you're not going to be using it with Kana. Or I don't think it's going to affect. Maybe it does, like on the first hit, I'm not sure. So this is the all blue build. Now let's go with the all green build. The all green build, I mean, let me explain. On this one, we're not gonna take advantage of the poison. I mean, we can, yes, because we are going to inflict some debuffs, but it is not the main appeal. It's just an added bonus. The main appeal is going to be the damage increase and damage reduction. If you don't like the active, you can change the position because we're not gonna take advantage of this part, the active and the passive on the active. And we're gonna use Suruga and Kawaru just to crit. I'm gonna use Octopus Slicer for damage. I'm going to use Octopus Sever for speed increase and Octopus Field to debuff the enemy and actually be able to inflict the poison. Weapon is the same. Everything is the same. Let's test her super quick. Yeah, I mean, it is not bad. Actually, I'm going to show you very quickly a test on the practice room when I finish this, so that we can see exactly how the supporter works. Yeah, because as you can see, it alternates between effects, between attack up and damage reduction. So yeah, it is best used on anyone who can heal. And when I say that can heal, I mean attacks that heal. I mean, Emily could use it, yes, but her HP restoration comes... Wow, that was fast. She's too strong. Her HP restoration from Emily comes from the healing field, which it's not based on the damage she deals. So, very quickly, here on skills, I'm just going to stand here. I'm going to do one hit. Thank you, thank you. I do one hit to see the timer, and we have an attack buff, and around there. Now we have a defense buff, and as you can see, sometimes this plant, I'm gonna call it a plant, appears and deals damage to the enemy. Now I'm going to activate the monster attack, and I hope that I can evade it. Last time I was not evading. Oh, come on, just attack thing. I'm gonna give him super armor too, so that it continuously attacks. Come on, come on. There. So now that plant is also going to deal damage, and that counts as a way to debuff the enemy. Come on, one hit, two hits. No, I lost it. Well, we weren't lucky enough to see it, but the plant could also prolong the bleed, just so that you know. It is. You may think that it is not a good supporter at first. I thought so too. But it has utility because it enables some things that weren't easy to do previously. So now we're gonna test the mix build. This one does focus on the supporter, and let's analyze it. We're gonna use the basic enhancer just because we are doing a mix build. That's why. We're gonna use Octopus Sever to get a speed increase, and we're gonna use Octopus Choke. Unfortunately, you can only use Octopus Choke. The better option, in my opinion, is Octopus Field. It deals more hits, in my opinion. But this one is good. It is the equivalent to the launching skill because it activates on every color. And it's going to inflict one debuff, and that's all that we need. So that's it. Yeah, everything is the same, the weapon and such. Wait a moment, what? Ah, yeah, because of the training room, I guess. Yeah, let's test this. And with that, we're gonna change to something different. Okay. So I constrict and I hit. I don't like the basic as much. So as you can see, I get a huge amount of damage thanks to Minasaki when I hit an enemy that is debuffed, because I quickly inflict them the poison effect. Come on. Okay. Now I interrupt this and let's hit. Wow, the damage. I mean, remember that she's 75. Even though she's awakened, she's still at 75. Stop that. Oh, come on. You want this? There. Pretty good. I mean, there are characters who take more effort to actually beat this stage, even at higher levels. But look at Hebiko. She's very, very strong. I do appreciate it. I don't like the fact that I have to alternate between effects. I would have preferred to be like the two at the same time, or at the very least 30% for whichever of the effects. If this was on 30%, I would be okay if it alternates. Well, it alternates, but on 30% I would be happy with it alternating. But on 24% it's like, it bugs me. So now we're gonna use another character. We're gonna use Shizuru actually. Where are you, Shizuru? There. For Shizuru, I tested this time and again, and unfortunately Wait a moment. I think that I have a build that I can use. Yeah, I think these are anti-demon. Demon. Yes. So, as I was saying, unfortunately, Shizuru doesn't exactly want New Year Hebiko on the main slot. So we're gonna do it like this. We're gonna use Minasaki on the main and Susune on the sub slot. Where are you, Susune? There. So as you can see, Minasaki is a better option than my Onisaki Kirara because I have one more copy. Depending on the number of copies that you have, this is a better option. So why this is not optimal? Let me explain a little bit. The optimal thing to do on mixed builds is to have the different color on the main slot so that you activate the effect on the skill that procs on the main. But we are not doing that. Why? Because we need the main red. Even so, I still get the poison on debuff, so it's no problem. Whip shot is our main skill because this is going to inflict the 10-second defense down on the enemy, which will allow me to use my basic attacks, which the basic attacks are pretty good on her because they are like they have a big area of effect. So I'm going to inflict poison on most of the enemies, and then I'm going to shred them. And last we have Chasing Strike, just increases your damage. So very quickly, let's test this. So yeah, this is a build to take advantage of the second effect, of the poison effect. Because not all characters want to do that. Wait a moment. Do I have... I see. That explains. Sometimes I forget how to play. Actually, you could also... Why didn't they... There. Double poison? Okay, I can take that. One thing that you can do is to use Rose Rondo, actually. It is fine to use Rose Rondo too because it also inflicts defense down. If you don't want to use the basic enhancer, that works. You're missing the damage increase on 3 colors, but it is okay. You don't need it. Okay, there. I'm going to avoid this just for a moment and multi-hits. Poison. Yeah, the damage is pretty good. That's why I do like this supporter, because it enabled things that we weren't able to do previously. It gives consistency to Minasaki, because she would rely on being the active, the main supporter, using her active, and being usable for just 12 seconds. So, now we're gonna focus on the other effect of New Year Hebiko. So I need to do this, and I need to unequip and unequip. So we're gonna use Rin because she can also perform the poison effect. She can do it properly. We're using all the anti-demon. We're putting... I cannot use auto to put them. We need a sword button, Gremory. Please, sword button here on Megatamas. Volt Spin, Chain Volt, and Soaring Swallow. Chain Volt we're going to change for Volt Whip, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to check it in a moment, but very quickly. We put the main Hebiko to get HP recovery, thanks to the color. We use Minasaki, and we use, again, Susune. There you are, Susune. Okay. So now let's check the effects. Volt Spin, a means of HP recovery, which takes advantage of the damage increase and damage reduction. You can take hits, and you can also recover a lot of HP. With whichever effect you have, it's going to be very effective on this character. Then we have Bolt Whip. Even though it is the all color skill, and this one is losing the extra damage, you don't care about that. You care about the electrocute effect. That's why we're using it, to inflict poison on the enemy, so that we can use Minasaki. And Soaring Swallow, no, it's Bolt Hook. We need Bolt Hook. Soaring Swallow, Bolt Hook. Bolt Hook is going to give another debuff, and that's why we want it, to proc more of my effect. It's going to be, let me check. Dash attack, hold dash, double dash. Dash, dash, dash. Weapon plus, it's 3 out of 5 plus 15, 5 out of 5 plus 13, and level 87. So let's test her super quickly, so that we can do the last build that is going to be on VR, yes. There we go. So we want to do this. It is great, 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 great. I love it. You're missing a lot of damage if you don't hit a debuffed enemy. So be sure to constantly debuff the enemy. As you can see, she was like super tanky, but not, she isn't. It's just that I'm not hitting a debuffed enemy, so they don't have the bleed. So do keep that in mind. Fortunately, I have the wiggle room and the time to do this instead of actually using my skills, because I want to save them for this part. I wait a little bit, then nice, I hit. One more time. Nice. Let's see the dragon. Okay. Bolt hook. And... oh, I hate those. The good thing about this is that you constantly reset the timer on the bleed. So the enemy is perma debuffed. Nice. The last thing that we're gonna do is check BR, and we're gonna do it on step 41. What are we doing here? We are using this standard build, but let's see, it's human, so I need to use this. Yeah, because I don't have the Magatamas for human on Hebiko. So what are we going to do? Let's give her custom one more time. She has the weapon. We're gonna unequip, and we're gonna put the anti-human, 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 and anti-human. Yes. No, wait. Wrong slot. Anti-human. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to use an all green build. Wait a moment. No, yes, definitely I did it on this one. Important things that we're gonna do. We're gonna give this back here. Oh my god, wait a moment. I need to check. She has Magatamas. If she has Magatamas... well, I just need whatever Magatamas. Okay, no problem. Yeah, I didn't want to do that again. So, these skills are fine. Tentacle Mine, Great Axe Empu, and Tentacle Anchor to reduce speed. Unfortunately, we're gonna change this one for this. We have two, well, technically three supporters, which you can use on VR, which are going to heal your character, your party. Because party wet healings pair well with Hebiko's weapon. We're gonna use Yachiyo here because she gives a constant amount of HP recovery. It says consumes 10% of particles every 10 seconds to restore max HP of yourself and ally characters by 6%. Not apply when there aren't enough particles. So, it is great. It is excellent. This is what you really want. Then we also have Lamarck. This one increases healing of human type ally characters by 6% and damage dealt by human type characters increases by 26. It is actually good, the passive, but what's the problem? The active. Look at this, it's almost 70 seconds, it's horrible. It immediately restores HP of lost. It immediately restores 26% of lost HP for ally characters and remove 3 debuffs, stuns, and groggy states. If the target is a human, recover an additional 5% of max HP. So it is good. It synergizes, yes, with both Hebiko and Murasaki, but the active is just too long. It's not viable. And the other one that you can use is Misaki, which is probably the best because you get a huge amount of damage, and you just need to put her on the main slot to get the extra benefit. So yeah. Oops, I didn't equip her. There we go. And let's see. So this one. Here we're gonna put Susune, and Minasaki. That's the good thing about using this supporter on VR, that you don't need to force yourself to use a mixed build. You can do your pure color builds, and you can equip Minasaki or Susune or Holy Knight Kiara on someone else. And you don't need to have debuff skills. In this case, we're going to be using, well, first the colors so that I can see the effects clearly. We're going to be using, of course, Hebiko. We're going to be using, which one? I don't even remember what I used last time. We are on VR, so we don't want critical. I could use her. I could use her if she was a higher S level. Well, I'm gonna go for something basic. I'll go for double melee. It is like not the optimal, but it's the easy way. I don't want to think about it too much. So of course I'm going to use Octopus Slicer, number 1. Octopus Saber to get speed. And I used this one last time. I don't like it that much, because if you want to use it optimally, you need to be aware of your position so that you don't so that your allies don't miss their target when using their skills. That's the only caveat that this skill has. So be careful with that. I would prefer to use this, actually, because it's going to guarantee that the enemy doesn't move. I'm gonna use it. I didn't want to use debuffs, but I'm going to use that because it's gonna make it easier for all the other skills to proc. So yeah. And what are the synergies? Thanks to Murasaki, I'm going to have healing to activate the passives on this. And thanks to Hebiko, I'm going to make Emily inflict more damage with Minasaki. That's why we are using this. You could also use other characters that heal. I could put Healing Wave on Emily. I could use Chizuru to get healing. I could use Felicia to get healing. If you have a character that heals, it is very good for Hebiko. So yeah, let's test this out on level 40. I'm not too confident about this. I'm just going to use 2 potions. That's better, just in case. Because my Hebiko, she is lagging in the damage department because she's 75. Last time that I recorded the video, as I mentioned, she wasn't awakened just yet. So she did manage to beat the stage at 41, but she was kind of slow because she lagged the damage. Now at least she has the awaken skills active. Come on. Do position yourself properly. Yeah, she can shred the enemy, like super shred the enemy. I love the green skill. It is unfortunate that you have to... God, that was fast! Way faster than before. I mean, that's the pro of using the awakening skills, I guess. Yeah. And also last time she had the no, she didn't have the debuff. She had the red the red protection rather than green protection. Protection against, what's the name of red? Of suppressed type characters instead of assist. So yeah, she became very strong just because she is awakened now. So as you can see, that's the way to actually use both of her limited items, the limited weapon and supporter, by using the correct team on BR. You want healing in the form of your supporters. It can be supporters on someone else. We don't have too many of those, but we have 3, and that works. It can also be on the way of skills that help you out, like Healing Field, like Sprout Garden, like I forgot the name of Felicia's skills, but Felicia with her blue skills. Or you can even do a mixed build using what I just showed you, whichever blue supporter that gives you HP, like Akina, like Limited Murasaki. Yeah, you don't want this one on the main because we want to take advantage of that so that Emily or another character gets the added benefit of damage increase on poisoned enemies. So yeah, that's about it for this video. What do you think about Hebiko's limited weapon and supporter? In my opinion, even though they do not synergize, they are pretty good. The weapon is especially good, as I mentioned. Not the weapon, sorry. The support is especially good on characters who can heal themselves with attacks, not with healing areas, with attacks. Examples: Urehara Rin, Anne Rose, Kurenai, Murasaki, Asuka if you have the weapon, Noah. I don't remember if Yukikaze can. I think she needs to be red. I don't remember. So yeah, use those characters if you want to take advantage of the main effect on the passive. The extra effect about doing poison, using poison on debuffs, is a little bit convoluted at times. Yes, I won't deny it. But it enables some things, and it's easier to use Minasaki, Onisaki Kirara, Christmas Onisaki Kirara, and Susune. So it is definitely worth it to use. So that's about it for today, and I'll be seeing you next time. Bye!